answers on as well. I've got a funny feeling. Yeah, don't look at the one with the answers, just look at the other one, yeah? That's the trouble when I take all my notes, I just whiz them through the scanner, you see. Okay, so we're looking at the handout, the one with the picture of the crown on, David and the Psalms, king, shepherd, songwriter, worshipper, prophet, warrior, and sinner. There are two historical reasons that point to David's ability to write most of the Psalms. Number one, David was closely associated with Samuel while a young boy. This association could have brought him into contact with many schools of prophets. Such subjects as sacred poetry were probably stressed to those students. So we forget about the fact, we think of David as a shepherd, but who just happened to, be good at writing some things down. It was just his failings, but here is suggesting he was actually taught to write poetry to God, 1 Samuel 16:13 says, the Spirit of the Lord was upon David from the time of his anointing. David received divine inspiration and assistance in writing the Psalms. The unction and anointing of the Spirit is an essentiality to writing sacred poetry. So you're going to fill in the gaps here without looking at the sheet with the answers on. David was well qualified to write the Psalms below as a summary of his qualifications. Number one, he was a skillful he had a sense of rhythm, an ear for pleasing sounds, an ability to invent new instruments. So he's a skillful... Shout it out. Chrissy, a bit louder there.
Musician?
Musician, yeah. Musician's the one I've got here. Yeah, musician. Right, number two, he was a man of something. It is seen in his love for Jonathan, his grateful appreciation for all the courageous feats of his men, his fondness for Absalom. So he was a man of, you don't have to give us the exact words, but he was a man of what? Seeing his love for Jonathan, his fondness for Absalom, his grateful appreciation of the feats of his men. He was a man of, any idea? Honour's a good one, eh? Not the one I've got written down. It's not brain surgery, it's just trying to get you thinking a little bit. I've got here, he was a man of deep feeling. He was a man of deep feeling. He showed he expressed himself, and it was quite deep.
He was a man of what, please?
Deep feeling.
Deep feeling.
Deep feeling. Right, number three, he was an enthusiastic what of Jehovah. He was devoted to the God of Israel. In the midst of his dangers and disappointment, he looked to Jehovah for strength. He was an enthusiastic what? Should get this one, he's famous for it. Not follower, but it's along those lines, a bit more than follower. Shepherd, no, not shepherd.
Warrior.
Say again?
Warrior.
Not warrior, this one.
Servant.
Servant?
Say that again, Chrissy?
Servant?
Could be, it's not the one I've got. A bit more than that. When we think of David, what's he famous for? Apart from killing people.
Worshipper?
Worshipper's the one I've got. And all the others, I mean, I'm not saying they don't fit, but he was definitely an enthusiastic worshipper in everything that he did. Not just in his worship, but in the way he lived his life. That's why I'm stressing this, Number four, he was a victim of so many varied what throughout his life?
Sins.
A victim of sins. That's an interesting one, Bev. A victim of sins, yeah. He caused a few as well, though, so not sins, are you? I'm after a particular word here.
Battles.
Not battles. Battles could be. I'll tell you where I've got here, and I'll tell you why. Experiences. Yeah. This is why I like David, because he experienced lots of things. Some of the things I've had to go through, I can relate to it, because he did make excuses for his children. He did, he did have a bit of a lustful eye. He did like music. He did, he's a noble bloke, isn't he? Really. Number 5, he had many something which are reflected in the Psalms. Now it's a bit of a wordy one, I'll give you this one, just have to talk about it. He had many personal virtues. He had many personal virtues which are reflected in the Psalms. He's a personable youth, he's careful in his conduct in court. He had a friendly disposition, he had a forgiving spirit.
He had what?
Right.
Please? He had many.
That one's on your sheet. He had a friendly disposition, he had a forgiving spirit. That's on the back of your handout, that one.
Number 5, what's the answer, please?
Personal virtues.
Yeah, he had many personal virtues. Now I have given you this handout with the answers on in pencil, so it might be a little bit faded. But let's just talk about his character. David's character had much diversity. Really, your answers are at the beginning of your sheet here. Tell me about these different diverse parts of David. Just give me a word that sums him up.
He was quite passionate.
Passionate, yeah. I mean, that's not one of the ones I've got, but yeah, you could, yeah. But what if we put a label on him? You know, you said David was a such and such. Can you think of some labels? Leader could be one. It's not on my list, but it could be. Look at the front of your sheet, you'll get some of them. Go on. Shepherd. Yeah, it was definitely Shepherd, not my list.
He was devoted.
Yeah, it was not my list though. I'll tell you what I've got on the list, shall I? Number 1, I've got warrior. Well, everything you said was right. It's just, you know, that's what happens when you jump through hoops, a certain thing. Number 2, right, as well as being a warrior, what else would you say David as?
Shepherd.
Who said shepherd?
Musician.
Say again?
Musician.
Musician, yeah, musician I've got as number 2. You think of as musician. Number 3, I've got down here saint. You know, just as in a person who follows God like I do, a saint.
Prophet.
Number 4, prophet. Some of you have found the answer sheet there. Prophet.
What number 3, please?
Prophet. Number 1 was musician. No, 1 was warrior, 2 was musician, 3 was saint, 4 was prophet.
What did you say is 3?
Sorry?
I can't hear you say 3 again.
Saint.
I can't hear.
He's asked about 3. Saint.
Saint. 3 was saint, 4 was prophet. Right, number 5, can't remember your right, but I've got here resemblance to Jesus Christ, which is an interesting one, isn't it? And then number 6, I love this one. I don't, but I do. He was a sinner.
I said that one earlier.
Yeah.
3 sinner.
3 was saint. 3 was saint. And 6 was sinner. And I'll just read a bit from the bottom there. David wrote his Psalms at a time in which religious poetry was being accepted. Several reasons can be considered as a reason for this initial acceptance of the Psalms. 1, the political and religious reforms and atmosphere which Samuel established created a new sense of national and religious patriotism. Number 2, music played an important part in the skills of a prophet and was also part of the religious services. Number 3, poetic instinct gave way to the writing of poetry as a result of the expansion of Israel as a nation. David's own personal victories prompted him to write. 4, the placement of the Ark of the Covenant in the new capital at the beginning of the Levitical choirs stimulated the poets to write songs of praise, thus adding to the production of the Psalms. I'm not going to go through everything else I've given you, but in terms of handouts, we've got another one here, spiritual truths to learn from Saul's life and David's life. Right, there's 91 things written down there. You got that one?
Yeah.
Can you all find the one that you like or dislike? Have a quick look in those 91 things, spiritual truths to learn from Saul's life and David's life. There's 5 sides of writing there, so or 4 and a bit, you should be able to find something there that jumps out at you.
Maybe that last one.
What number there?
Number 91, in the end, God's estimation was that counts, not man's.
Yeah, Bev likes number 91. In the end, it is God's estimation of us that counts, not man's.
Yeah.
Yep. Any others stand out for you? Number 20 for Lee there. God calls us to put whatever skills we possess into his great hands. When we dedicate our skills to him, there is triumph. The conquest over evil is both his and ours.
Yes, Lee.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Number 36.
36. As God's people, we dare not let others deflect us from doing our duty to God and man. Yeah, that's a great one as well, isn't it? Anyone else? There's loads, isn't there?
56, that's a good one.
56, Lee's got another one there. It is exceedingly dangerous to despise another person. God loves him just as he loves you. This is often forgotten. Yeah, that's a good one. I'll let you, that's yours to keep. Have a look through,
Number 61 as well.
I kind of stopped these in Sunderland now, 61, there's loads, isn't there? Some good ones there.
Yeah. This is
Yeah,
good.
so that's yours to, encourage you. Have a look through.
Get this to work.
Right, out of the other things that I'm giving you, there's a handout there, it's a little bit of a faded typewritten one, that starts, it is generally accepted without controversy that David was a predominant author of the Psalms. And it talks about why he was qualified. This is what we've looked at on that sheet. It's just giving you a bit more detail. He was a skillful musician, he was a man of deep feeling, an enthusiastic worshipper. I didn't want to show you that before because you wouldn't know the answers to me quiz. On the back of that, we've got other authors of Psalms. Have a little look at that list there. Moses wrote one. The sons of Korah, different people. There's some little handouts from other little magazines and things there about negative emotions. 40 soul-searching questions. Various other bits and pieces there. I'm basically going to leave that there because next time you're going to present something about the Psalms in any way that you want, and that basically will be our next lesson. Any questions about today? Any queries, anything? Everyone know what they're doing next time?
Can we just go about that next one? Can you read it?
I've just shut my file, but Lee wants me to read number 81 here. Number 81 said, God, good one, this one. So Lee wants me to read this one out. God does not look for perfect people to achieve his work in the world. There are no perfect people, he looks for willing people. Yeah, that's a good one to end on. Any other comments on it, everyone? I'm letting you finish 4 minutes early. That's how kind I am. Right, if there's any, I'm expecting everyone to do a little presentation of some type next time. You've got a few months to do it. Have a good Christmas and see you all in the new year. God bless you.
Happy Christmas, everybody.
Happy Christmas. You guys too.
See you later.
Happy Christmas!
Bye.
Bye.